You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek from Ocala, Florida, and Jennifer is home, and I did not kill the horses. Yay!
I had 90% faith in you. I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, April 7th, episode 3663, brought to you today by WERM Flooring. Good morning, horse people.
You have found Horses in the Morning on a Monday. You're in for an amazing horsey week of laughter, learning, and fun with Glenn and Jamie.
You know, I get picked on all the time about not being a horse husband, that I'm actually more of a horse guy. I get that from listeners all the time. You know how I determined I'm still a horse husband? You realize it because you know me pretty well. But I got to about 5 days to take care of the horses and I was done. That was it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I had reached my limit. You know, true horse people can go forever, every day, taking care of the horse, and they're perfectly happy. I got to do about 5 days doing that myself and fixing the fence that James kept breaking. And that was it for me. I was good.
Yeah, I can see that. I made Lucas muck stalls yesterday with me, and I've solidified the fact that he will never be a horse husband.
Did he whine the whole time?
Oh my God. We've gotten really good. He helps me a lot. So but it's pulling teeth. Get in the Ranger. Let's go. Get in. Can I bring? No, we're mucking stalls. No, you can't bring your tablet. God.
He's going to hang it around his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking of everyone from this weekend. Flooding and did you see the pictures of the Kentucky Horse Park?
I did. It looked like the Kentucky Horse Lake. It was crazy. I mean, it started raining here on Tuesday, Monday night, and it stopped like right now. Like I can see the sun. For the first time, I don't know what that big thing in the sky is, but it's just been so awful and rainy. And it's funny because I talked to a girlfriend who's in Seattle and I was like, oh my God, it's rained for like 6 days straight. She's like, it's rained 8 months straight here. I was like, shut up. You live there. You chose it.
Now, how many times in that time were you in the storm shelter behind the kitchen?
No, we didn't have any severe weather. Well, we had one night of severe weather, but we didn't have to go in the shelter. So it was just buckets of rain. And then I woke up this morning and there's frost outside. And I'm like, no, it's April. This is ridiculous. But I mean, we haven't had it. We've had it bad, but we haven't had it nearly as bad as some of our neighbors to the east.
Tennessee,
I mean, oh my gosh.
Ohio and Kentucky just got hammered. Lisa said she was flooded again last night, and now, it receded a bit. But, I mean, she's been not being able to get out for the last week either.
Yeah, I went to my vet on Friday, and like half of her barn was flooded. It's the worst.
We're feeling for everybody who was flooded out and tornadoes everywhere. And it was something.
Oh, yeah.
We're feeling for all of you. Hey, one thing we didn't talk about last week with all the weather stuff going on was Val Kilmer. Did you know that Val Kilmer was a lifelong horse guy?
I did not, but it makes sense considering he was in all the Westerns where he would ride.
Yeah. Well, of course, we lost him last week. He has had cancer since 2014. And, he died of pneumonia, actually, which is a common thing to die of after you've had cancer for a long time. But he actually started riding when he was a kid. And he grew up in Chatsworth, California, which was a stone's throw away from Spawn Movie Ranch. Do you know what Spawn Movie Ranch was?
Oh, unfortunately.
Charles Manson lived there with the family at Spawn Movie Ranch, and he lived right there. In his book, he stated, "We lived next door to Roy Rogers and too close for comfort to Charles Manson. We used to go to the Spawn Ranch where they all lived. It was the closest place, get this, it was the closest place to rent a horse for a trail ride." They used to go to Charles Manson's place to rent a horse.
Yeah. If you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt goes up to that ranch in the movie and they're riding horses everywhere, all over it. So it's definitely granted, the ending of that Tarantino movie went way better than the ending of a real world. In the real world, but yeah.
He said in his book, the guy who put me on a horse was Donald Shorty Shea, who worked for Spawn Ranch and was killed by the members of the Manson family. Now, there's more to this story that gets a little better. Actually, his dad then bought the Roy Rogers Ranch and Gene Autry Ranch. So he used to ride there too. So it's a small world out there. So they purchased that ranch. It was included a 6,000 square foot main house, a guest house, tennis courts, a pool, and a lot of undeveloped acreage. And the Kilmer family resided there during his entire youth. So they basically grew up on Roy Rogers Ranch. What a interesting story that I knew nothing about, but
good investment, probably. Yeah. I mean, invest in land in California.
Rest in peace, Val. You'll be missed. So I wanted to mention that today we're going to start a new segment. This was an idea of one of our auditors. We're calling it Horsey History Shorts. Think weird little history things about horses, kind of like weird news. So that we're going to start that today, try and do that about once a month. We have some Equestrian First World Problems. Jamie saw a movie she's going to give us a review of. And I have some news stories we're going to get to as well. No guests today. It's just us.
I have an idea. Yeah. Horsey History Shorts sounds like you're wearing pants. Like, how about Horse History Highlights? There you go.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's HHH.
I love the alliteration.
Better. Yeah, that's better than HHS, which sounds like a government agency. We have, I'm friends with most of the auditors on Facebook, and that's how I know their birthdays. And this particular auditor has a fascinating life. And for some reason, Facebook shows me all of her posts, and she does some of the coolest things. And that's Logan Marie. I've been trying to get Logan on the show, but she's so busy that I've been having a hard time getting her on the show. Logan, we want to have you on the show. So I'm just saying. So Logan, if you're ever free and stop your world travels, let me know, and we'll get you on the show. But happy birthday.
Oh, Friday went to his new home. Yay. I'm so happy. I'm sad happy for Barrett and for Friday. Obviously, Friday has been at my farm for 1.5 years. He was adopted from Horse and Hound by Farm Boy, and he has ridden him and trained him and worked with him to make him hopefully a very functioning part of the Maytag Ranch in Colorado. So this weekend they came and picked him up, and he went to his new home, traveled really well, and it was nice to see my friend TJ, and he brought his son. So Lucas had a friend hang out with all weekend. So it was really fun, and I wish the best to Friday and TJ and all the folks at Maytag.
How was Barrett about it?
Stoic. Shockingly, as like it's so weird. Yeah. I mean, and it's funny. I haven't seen him back here since Friday. So, I mean, granted, it's been raining, but I think he's probably, he's probably mourning a little bit. It's sad. And the thing is, I wouldn't let TJ give him the money. I was like, I want you to take this horse home and to the ranch and make sure he's what you want. If he is what you want, then you can pay him. If he's not what you want, then I'll come pick him up in July. And so I mean, TJ is like, with all these videos you sent me, because I've been sending him videos for 1 year. He was like, with all these videos you sent me, if I don't like this horse, it's me. It's like, so it'll be fine. But they've got him on a trial and got him insured and did all the stuff to take care of him. But I really want to make sure. I love providing horses for this ranch, and I just am really pleased. It's like a selection process to go to that ranch. I mean, they're just the luckiest dang horses in the world. So they just live this life on 3,000 acres. So for those that don't know, Maytag Ranch is a ranch that's owned by, it's 3,000 acres, and there's 30 homes on it. And the 30 homes, it's basically an adult summer camp. And so
for wealthy adults.
Well, yeah. Let's go. I mean, more the extra wealthy. Let's go with extra wealthy. And my friend TJ runs it. And so these people, there's like a horse area where these horses come up and they're trail ridden or ridden in the arena. And there's like a shooting range and archery range, like grown up summer camp. There's fishing and mountain bike ride. It's all the things. So he was selected to go out there, and Bear's been training him for it for a long time. So I'm happy for him and I'm happy for them. And to be honest, like I had to bring the horses in so much. And I told TJ, I was like, one of the questions that I always ask when I buy a horse is I ask the people, what is the worst thing about this horse? And if they say nothing, don't buy the horse, because they're lying, because there's always something. And as perfect as Friday is, I went to TJ and I said, I got to tell you the worst thing about this horse. And he's like, what? I'm like, in his stall, he is such a pig. He poops everywhere and walks all around and just the worst. Well, of course, they don't have stalls there. They don't need stalls. And so he was like, okay. And I'm like, no, I just have to tell you, I just want to let you know, he's the most disgusting. So I mucked stalls yesterday and I didn't have a Friday stall to muck. And I was like, woohoo! Yes! Because my little angel baby Miles poops in the corner.
I think across the country, can you imagine how much extra bedding was used last week with horses being in? I mean,
oh, that's very true. Very true. Because mine don't come in unless we're having, like, it was cold and rainy all night long and just dumping rain. And so I just had to bring them all in. And then I just work hard and then I turn them out for a couple hours and I have to bring them all back in again. And then I'm supposed to ride my young thoroughbred today, it could be exciting. It could be exciting.
Aren't you glad they canceled your show over the weekend?
Oh, dear God. Yes. So my horse trial that I was supposed to do this past weekend is now slated for next weekend. So
yeah, you'd be glad they didn't have it. There were a lot of shows canceled over the weekend, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about worm flooring here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a new segment called, what are we calling it now? Horsey History Highlights. Look, we've already changed the name in 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, but so worm flooring, I got to tell you, it was funny when TJ came to pick up Friday. He's telling me he just bought this new trailer and he's got to come back this way and pick it up next week. And he's like, it's like a 6-horse. I'm really excited about it. He was like, it's so nice. And he was like, guess what it has? And I was like, what? He goes, it has worm flooring in it. And this is before he's been in my barn. And I was like, and he was just going, oh my God, this worm flooring stuff is amazing. I can't believe it. Like, it's such a great idea. And then he walks into my barn and he goes, oh, is this worm flooring on the floor? I was like, yes, I'm super bougie now. And
that's what they're going to have in their barn by the end of next week.
I know, right? Right. Hey guys, I have a good investment for you. Yeah. So I'm super thrilled. I mean, it's just becoming like a badge of honor to have worm flooring in your barn or in your trailer, or in this case, they also, do leaky roofs on your trailer. So you can check all of it out. You don't have to move rubber mats. You don't have to clean underneath things. It's just so much easier. So if you don't have worm flooring in your trailer, please get it. It will extend the life of your trailer. Wormflooring.com to find a dealer near you.
Well, thanks to an auditor idea, we were asking for ideas of new segments we could do in the show. We've been doing this a long time, so finding new segments is somewhat tough. However, Auditor Jessica came up with the idea that we've named Horsey History Shorts. And these are history segments, only they're short like your weird news. Okay. So think of your weird
I'm excited.
News. Yeah. And so I have 3 of them here for you today. Calvin Coolidge, President of the United States. Do you know when Calvin Coolidge was president? Do you know what years?
A long time ago.
Close. Yes, you're exactly right. 1920s. He was president in the 1920s. He was really into fitness and specifically horseback riding. He loved horseback riding. And he used to ride at the White House out in the grounds. But the Secret Service was really concerned about him riding around the grounds of the White House, so they made him stop. And he said, well, I'm not stopping riding. So he contacted a friend of his, and you might know his last name as Kellogg, John Harvey Kellogg. Yes, that Kellogg.
The cereal guy.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Well, the cereal guy was really into health stuff. he designed Kellogg's, a couple of the cereals, to be health cereals. They were healthy for you back in the day. So he contacted him and said, look, I can't ride my horse anymore. The Secret Service won't let me. Can you come up with something? And well, he did. He came up with this mechanical contraption that looked like a saddle and a body of a horse. So it was this electric horse. Well, it actually simulated the gaits of a real horse from a trot to a full gallop. It's bizarre looking. You can look it up. It was kind of like the early day exercise bike or Equicizer that we know today, except it was electric. You plugged it in. So he had this thing, and apparently he loved this thing. He rode it multiple times a day in the White House, and some accounts said that he even put on chaps and a cowboy hat a lot of the times so that he would be fully immersed in riding. But apparently the press got a hold of it and made fun of him endlessly about riding this mechanical horse in the White House. They drew cartoons about it and all of this stuff, and his staff would kid him endlessly, so he finally stopped. He had to quit riding his mechanical horse.
I Googled it, and it says he was widely mocked.
Yes. Did you see a picture of it? It kind of looks like a mechanical horse. It does, but it was actually invented by John Harvey Kellogg. It's a bizarre story. But Coolidge was also known, he and his wife were having some weird pets at the White House. He had domesticated and wild pets. He had dogs, cats, birds, all kinds of different stuff. He apparently, much to the chagrin of the office help and the White House butler, hated the pets. So
I'm going to Google something because I'm sure you don't know, but just in case you do know, how many acres is the White House?
I don't know, actually. 10, 20?
Let's see here. I'm Googling it. Let's see here. 18 acres. 18 acres. The White House grounds, including the executive residence, East Wing, and West Wing, encompass approximately 18 acres.
Well, apparently they didn't consider it big enough for some of the pets that he was given. Once word got out that they loved pets at the White House, foreign countries and friends started sending pets.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
Among them were a pygmy hippo named Billy.
I was going to say, it's like hippos happen in South America with the drug lord.
A wallaby, 2 lion cubs that he named Tax Reduction and Budget Bureau. All of those were given to the National Zoo because he wasn't allowed to keep them at the White House. However, he was given a live raccoon with the intent of having it roasted as the centerpiece of Thanksgiving dinner one year. But Coolidge liked the raccoon so much and said he was so sweet and friendly, he couldn't bear to see it killed, so they kept it at the White House. And they would dress it up for Christmas. They had a little collar made. The name of the raccoon was Rebecca Raccoon. And the raccoon ended up living at the White House with them. Then apparently very friendly. So.
Interesting enough, the White House actually used to be 85 acres when it started, like when George Washington and Thomas Jefferson lived there. So maybe he actually had more than 18 acres because it's currently 18 acres.
Oh, yeah. It could have been more then. But anyway, there's the story of Calvin Coolidge and his mechanical horse that he took endless amounts of ribbing for.
It's weird looking. I mean, it's weird looking.
Can you see him in his chaps and cowboy hat at the West Wing of the White House? Anyway, now we're going to go to Belmont Park in one of the same years, actually, 1923, that Coolidge was president. Belmont Park, sorry.
Okay.
June 4th, 1923. Frank Hayes was a stable hand and a trainer. He was not a seasoned jockey, but he finally got his shot to ride in a steeplechase. They were going to give him a shot to ride a long shot horse by the name of Sweet Kiss, a 20-1 long shot in the steeplechase there. They used to do that at Belmont Park. But he had to drastically shed weight. I mean, apparently he had to lose a lot of weight, and he did, and he got to ride. So Frank and Sweet Kiss ran the race of their lives, and they won the race. What they didn't, Sweet Kiss won the race.
Oh, no. Is this the guy who died before he crossed the finish line?
He suffered a fatal heart attack in the middle of the race. Now, it truly gets bizarre because somehow his body stayed in the saddle. So he and the horse crossed the finish line first, and technically won the race because the jockey was still on the horse. They didn't even know he had died until the horse's owner approached and found him dead in the saddle.
How did he get all the way back to the winner's circle and whatever?
I don't know. But anyway, Sweet Kiss forever was called after that the Sweet Kiss of Death, and never raced again.
Oh my God. Well, who wants yeah, I don't think I would ride that horse.
He was buried, Frank Hayes was buried in his riding silks. And anyway, the story has been passed down through the generations as he's the only rider that died mid-saddle and won the race. I don't know if any other jockeys died during the race, of a heart attack, but there you go. That was that story. Now we're going.
I'm calling shenanigans. I don't believe that.
I
don't have to believe all these,
sources,
do I?
Actually, I did double check that one because it sounded like a rumor, but I found it in many sources. And then this one, we're going to go because you are going in 3 weeks to what?
Oh my God, Kentucky! Woo!
You're going to Kentucky in 3 weeks. And in 1978, the Kentucky Horse Park hosted the 1978 World 3-Day Event Championships. That was the first year that championships was held at the Kentucky Horse Park.
Can I guess who won?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But, it was also the first time that a world championships were held outside of Europe. It was the first time that they traveled across the Atlantic, and it was the brand new $35 million Kentucky Horse Park. It was, it had just been built. So that was 1978. And I know you're going to guess who won, so go ahead.
It was Bruce Davidson, wasn't it?
Yes, what was the name of the horse?
Dr. Peaches?
Jennifer guessed it from the other room. Might Tango was the name of the horse.
Tango.
Yeah, Might Tango. Now,
Dr. Peaches was the 80s. Come on, Jamie. Sorry.
But what you might not know is he wasn't supposed to ride Might Tango. Bruce was supposed to ride Irish Cap, but 10 days before the event, Irish Cap came up lame. And Irish Cap was his Olympic horse. So he subbed this 7-year-old youngster named Might Tango, who was an American thoroughbred, and he was relatively inexperienced and young. And he subbed him into this championship at the last minute. So apparently, like most event horses who win a lot, what's their attitude and personality like, Jamie?
Pretty sassy.
Yeah.
Pretty sassy.
Apparently, he was known for his fiery spirit and unpredictable nature. Sounds like a horse that Davidson would ride, actually.
Sounds like an eventer.
Yeah,
exactly. A high-level eventer. Go ahead.
Apparently, he could be difficult to manage in and out of the saddle. Well, we go to the championships. He's riding this horse he wasn't even supposed to be riding at the championships. And it was hot as hell that year. Apparently, the humidity and heat were oppressive. And remember, back then, it was held in September. It was September 14th through the 17th. It was punishing heat. Many of the horses had heat stroke and that kind of thing. It was bad, apparently, all 3 days. So he rode in the dressage, and apparently he managed to finish placing well. And, because this horse could be a handful in dressage, apparently. He was the only one that could ride this horse in dressage. On cross country, it was a very hot, humid day. Tango finished first. Get this, but was exhausted like most of the horses. He had a fever of 108 when he finished. He was packed with ice. And remember, this is long form, too. This is when they did the long form.
They did the roads and tracks,
Yes.
which was trotting for miles. And then they did steeplechase. And then they did another roads and tracks. And then they did cross country.
Well, apparently after cross country, they lost half the field was out. They managed to get his fever down in time. They were still doing vet checks back then. He was packed with ice and given oxygen, but apparently most of the horses were. He recovered, but was tired in stadium. He had multiple rails in hand, took down 2 and just beat out John Watson of Ireland. The U.S. team so he won the gold. The U.S. team came in third behind Canada and West Germany. And then Mike Tango went on to be a breeding stallion. His bloodlines carried apparently the toughness and athleticism that he had, and he remained very quirky apparently throughout his entire life. Big surprise. And he's buried at Bruce's farm. So So there you go.
Wow.
We lived to 26, I think was the age.
Probably the prize money for the 1978 World Championships was like $25.
It was much higher than that, actually. I forget what it was. It was like 250,000 or something. It was up there.
Dang.
Yeah. It was, but I didn't realize it was the first time that it was held outside of Europe too. I didn't know that. It only became the quote unquote Rolex we know today in 1998. That's when it transitioned to a now 5-star.
So 98 was the first 5-star?
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
So
was it
and of
Bruce?
course that was Nick Larkin won that one.
There you go. Was My Tango the one that Bruce's statue was with, or was that somebody else, Jennifer? Somebody else? Okay.
I think that's Dr. Peaches.
You think that's Dr. Peach? Jennifer, can you look that up for us? Let's see. Oh, she thinks it might be Dr. Peaches too.
Okay.
So there you go. There's my horses in history. See? Short enough for it to even keep your attention.
I love it. I don't know why you think I hate horses in history segment. I think I just want to call shenanigans on some of them, like the guy dying in the saddle. I think that can't have possibly
You had
happened,
heard about it though.
Whatever. Yeah. I'd heard about it, but I also, when I read that, I was like, shenanigans.
I did look it up. I found it in several different places. Jennifer, what horse was it? Eagle Lion.
Eagle Lion.
There
Duh.
you go. Eagle Lion is who.
There's so many amazing horses that he's ridden. It's like, which amazing horse?
For those that don't know what
Lion.
we're talking about, there's a statue right outside the stadium at the Kentucky Horse Park of Bruce and a horse, and I didn't know which one it was either. Eagle Lion. Okay, there you go.
Okay, and again, sorry for all of you that have been yelling at us, like it's Eagle Lion. I know you're out there, and I'm sorry. I'm sitting here. I've just had half a cup of coffee. I'm not quite with it, so forgive me.
And she's a little waterlogged too. Well, we're going to try and do this once a month. I'll try and put 3 of them together once a month, and we'll do a little horsey history shorts for you. The foundation of a horse's well-being is a strong hoof. That's why Calexiquin, the new daily hoof supplement from the makers of Cosequin, contain key ingredients such as biotin, amino acids, copper, and zinc to support hoof integrity, quality growth, strength, and durability. Did you notice I'm saying it both ways in this?
Proud of you.
I'm saying it both ways to cover both sides. What sets Calexiquin apart from other hoof supplements is the inclusion of vitamin E and selenium, which provide antioxidant support and membrane stabilization. Put your best foot forward with Calexiquin. To learn more, visit Calexiquin.com. That's CALEXEQIN.com. So you went to see a movie. What'd you see?
I did. So trying to find something to do with kids over the weekend when it's pouring down rain, I elected to do something that apparently everybody else in the city of Norman decided to do, which is go to a movie on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Yeah. So Lucas and his friend who came over, Blake, they went to see the new Minecraft movie. And you didn't even know there's a Minecraft movie, but as a mother of an 11-year-old,
so I wouldn't know what it was about. So.
It's so stupid. Anyway, yeah, so not designed for me. And so they went to see the Minecraft movie, and oh my God, it's the greatest movie we've ever seen, ever.
Better than every Marvel movie we've ever seen.
Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Jennifer Coolidge. It was great. It was great.
Have a good cast.
They super loved it. It was fantastic. They were like, this is so exciting. They came home and had to play Minecraft just before bed. I was like, fine, whatever. I don't care. So that's fine. But then I went to see Snow White with Anna. So they go to Minecraft and we go to Snow White. They're like, your movie's going to suck. And I'm like, it might. I've heard it's pretty bad. But I will tell you that there's all that drama with Rachel Zegler and all the stupid stuff she said or whatever like that. And then how she and Gal Gadot don't get along. And while some of the acting was very cheesy Disney, you know, there was a lot made about
cheesy Disney movie.
It's a cheesy Disney movie. It's Snow freaking White. And I'm just like, they're like mugging. I was like, okay, like that's what. All these things were said about how creepy the 7 dwarves were. Like, oh, you're not getting
the CGI. One, right?
They were my favorite part of the whole movie by far. Like, I want a Dopey. Like, I need Dopey. I love him so much. And it was the dwarves were the best part of the movie. And the CGI animals, because she's Snow White, you know, all the animals come down. And like, and we left and I was like, Anna, I want a Dopey. And she's like, I want to ride a deer. So honestly, I loved it. So she's
there
also
was no, not to give away spoilers, but there's been so much written about this. There's no prince in this one, right? Or
there's no prince. There's no prince. There's a basically.
wasn't that
I mean,
the whole
here's the
story
thing.
in the first one?
Yeah, she gets awoken by some guy who walks in, finds her dead body and kisses it. Like that part always bothered me. So I actually like this ending better because I was like, I always thought it was a little
Spoiler
rapey to
alert.
like have some guy. That's the original one. It's from 1937. I think it's no spoiler. It's like 100 years old. Yeah, but like the prince comes along and they're like, oh, look how beautiful this dead girl is, and then kisses her. Like that's disgusting. Like who would do that? So at this point, there's a band of thieves. You know, as much as they tried to avoid the patriarchy of having some prince come through, it still was a guy who saved her life in the end, you know, like it was still the story, but I think it was way better this way. I did like that it wasn't like some gross rapey thing in the end. It was just like, it was good. I mean, to
Was
be
there
honest,
music in it? Singing.
Oh yeah. And she's such a good singer. Did you see the snake, the most recent Hunger Games, the Land of Snakes? And
no, I didn't. I haven't seen that yet, and I saw the first 3.
Oh, it's so good. It's basically the backstory of President Snow.
Oh yeah. I gotta watch that.
It's really good, and she stars as the female lead in that, and her singing in that, oh my God, will just knock you down. So she obviously is very, very talented. And Gal Gadot, I was like, she was amazing too. But like, I mean, but again, there's definitely cheesy Disney acting in it, but there's also like really great singing and good music. And oh my God, the Seven Dwarfs were just the
basically
cutest
going
thing.
against everything I've read for every part of it.
I went
they all said Gal sucked. They all said that the cheesy CGI dwarfs made them uncomfortable.
Oh, it was so great. They were so cute. They were so cute. Like that was my favorite part of the movie. So Gal she should have just leaned into her accent. She kept trying to hide her accent, but it kept coming out, and you're just like, just be you, girl. Like you obviously can't not be you. So, but I will tell you that Snow White just throughout history just has the worst hair. It's just the worst hair. And I just wanted to be like, can you please just update that? You've updated everything else and you can't update her terrible hair. But I did not hate it. We expected like out of 10. Lucas goes, what would you give it out of 10? And I was like 7. Like I would give it a 6.5, 7.
And Anna agrees with you. Did she ever see the first one?
She gave it an 8. She loved it.
Oh, wow.
But again, you have to think of who these movies are designed for.
They're designed for
like,
her.
Anna is a 16-year-old girl, but she's a very, very young, innocent 16. Like I would go like, younger is what I'll say. Like she's very young, pure, innocent 16-year-old. So she loved it. And the whole movie was moms and daughters in the whole crowd. And it was
like
great.
going to Barbie, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Except for the fact that Barbie was not designed for children. So this one actually was. So I thought it was great. And again, I love Dopey. Dopey's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. The next horse I get, I might just name Dopey. It was so cute.
Well, on that note, watching things, I don't know if I mentioned last week, we finished The Residents. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to finish that series yet. Have you? On Netflix?
I have not finished it.
Okay.
I did watch a bunch of it.
We did binge it before Jennifer went away, and there was one filler episode. There's always a filler episode. Beside that episode, it was good till the end. So, and we did not guess who did it. We got it wrong. So
you had no clue. So
yeah,
they do let you know.
It was good. Yeah, it was. They do let you know. There's an ending to it. Yeah, but they did set it up for her to do this character 85 more times. I mean,
no good.
Yes, but it was
There'll
good.
Be more.
I did enjoy it, and I know a couple of you have started listening to it since we mentioned it. So I hope you enjoy that. You know what I stumbled across today? That was the weirdest thing that I didn't know existed in the horse world. And we've covered a lot of things on the show. Did you know that there's a model and talent agency for equestrians?
A model and talent agency for equestrians. That doesn't surprise me, I guess. Why? What do you know?
It's called, you know how we get the Google alerts for everything horsey? Well, this came across a Google alert. I was like, what is that? It's the UK's leading model an equestrian talent agency. It's CS Equine Models, where we're committed to uniting equestrians and their love for modeling. So what this is, it's actually a good idea. How many times do we go to catalogs for companies where they have a model that you know has never ridden a horse in their life, right? You look and go, this person's never ridden a horse in their life. You can just pick them out. Well, that's this agency, and this is not a commercial. I just stumbled on it this morning. It has 22 models, some female, some male. The requirement is they all have to be equestrians, but then what this modeling agency does is find them work for catalog companies and for manufacturers, so that actual horse people of all shapes and sizes model the horse clothes.
And are they more realistic type of humans, or are they still the supermodel type?
I would say some of them are more realistic looking.
Because like I could model the hell out of some Carhartts in the snow.
Some of them look like your, models. They look like beautiful, gorgeous, skinny models. And then there's others that actually look human. So yes, and that's on the male side, I'm going to say on the male side.
There's male models on that? I'm clicking the link
as many
right
male
now.
models as there are female models, but let's just say the male models. If you had told me they were riders before I looked at the pictures, I would not have guessed. They look like they could be in any calendar anywhere for male models. But yeah, so there were even a couple farriers in the male model section.
I was going to say you could have a lot of polo players.
They did have some polo players. How'd you guess that?
Oh, wait. Okay. Hello, Benjamin. Hello, Dylan.
Are you on the website? So do you think you could you can get away with this in Britain, having this agency? I think you'd go broke having this agency in the United States because, well, we don't have that many companies manufacturing stuff, I think is part of the problem. But yeah, so anyway, I think it's a brilliant idea because of all the times we've looked at ads for products and gone, this is a person that does not ride a horse.
Yeah. Hello, Nathan.
They're pretty beautiful, though, on a whole.
You know what I will tell you? I've learned, Glenn, and maybe this is a product of my age. So I'm watching Snow White.
Yeah.
And I just, I think I've hit the age where like guys that are young, like the bandit in Snow White, I thought he was gross. I was like, okay, gross. Like I just did not find him attractive at all.
In his 20s or something?
Yeah, he was like 21 or I don't know, probably 19. I don't know how old he was. He might have been a teenager. I don't know. But I found him gross. I was like not my thing. And then I asked Anna, I was like, Anna, is he cute? And she was like, what? I was like, do you think that guy is cute? And she's like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, am I too old to like be am I cougar? Am I too weird for a cougar now at this point? I don't know. I mean, he might have been 25, but I don't know. I just found him like gross. There could have been if Chris Hemsworth would have been the bandit, I mean, God, I would have loved it.
He is a little older though, Chris. So
I know. I think I've hit the age of like, I can't even enjoy young romance movies because I find them all gross because they can all be my children. I was like, this sucks. I've hit the age where I can't have young romantic comedies or anything like that. I like them because I've hit the creeper mode.
You crossed the line officially.
I've hit that, and again I was like, he is just not cute. Like he is not cute. And then I'm like,
I think men have to cross that line sooner, or we get labeled sooner than women do.
Yeah, you get your name put on a website.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think we get labeled I think women can get away with it longer.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, did you see that whole, this is so gross. Not gross. I mean, it's adorable, sort of. I don't know. It's kind of gross. Did you see the whole Robert Irwin photo shoot?
That was gross.
So Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, his son just got a gig modeling underwear. And apparently it has set all the Australian women on fire, and you can read tweets. Like there's articles about tweets from women.
Is that the pictures I saw him with like a snake and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, that was gross. Ugh. Yes.
Yeah, but you think it's gross. Girls Anna's age do not think that's gross. It was shockingly impressive, honestly.
See, I didn't look that far. I couldn't confess
God,
to snake and stuff.
I'm a pedo. Like, gross. Like, oh.
Change gears here a little bit before we get to your question, first world problems. There was a study. Yes, I read it. There was a study that I actually read. I found this in the New York Post. It was a British study. And yes, it's true. I actually looked because it was in the Post. I wasn't sure. And they did a study in Great Britain about who thinks they could beat, this is the dumbest study ever, who thinks they could beat animals in a 100-meter sprint, like a 100-yard dash. 1 in 50 men think they could beat a horse in a 100-yard dash.
Good luck. Maybe Carl.
Now, keep in mind that horses run at 40 miles an hour. And Usain Bolt ran at 27. So, I mean, there's probably a little chance. But they were positive. And they did a bunch of different animals. And they asked whether you could beat those animals. Basically, 61% thought they could beat a dog in a 100-meter dash. I guess it depends what dog, right? What breed. But,
are we talking Homer or
yeah,
what?
I'm thinking Homer could beat me in a 100-yard dash at this point.
True.
Cats. I think that you could beat a cat because it would get distracted, would never make it to the finish line. I think that's why you could beat a cat.
I can't imagine figuring out a way to make a cat run a race.
Right. Other than it was in a chute and you were chasing it. I don't know. 22% thought they could beat a chimpanzee on the ground. I think your chimp would win if he was that focused that could actually get to the finish line. So here are the animals that they asked about, and at least 10% thought they could beat these animals in a 100-meter race. I want to determine, you and I making it 100 meters would be the first problem, but I want to determine which ones we actually think we could beat in a 100-meter race. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Crocodile. They're really fast at short distances, though. They're really quick at short distances to catch their prey. I'm not sure how they'd be at 100 meter. I think I could beat a crocodile 100 meter. But
again, remember, the way that how fast I run is directly corresponding to what's chasing me.
Well, then I think with the crocodile chasing, you'd probably win.
Don't you have to run zigzags or something?
I want the crocodile 100 meters away from me, though. Elephant. I think they can run, but I don't know that they run fast. I think I have a chance on an elephant.
They do.
No, Jennifer said I don't. Hippopotamus. Yeah. I could beat a hippo.
Nope. They're the most vicious animals in Africa.
Yeah, but that's why I think I could beat it. I'd be running really fast. A rabbit.
No, you're toast.
Goat?
No.
They kind of waddle, don't they, goats? They kind of just waddle along. They're not.
So do you.
House cat, we think we could win because it's a house cat and it would never make it to the finish line. That's why I think I could beat a house cat. This is an interesting one, and I had this experience once, and I want to know if you ever did. A swarm of bees. In my golfing days, we were playing golf on this hilly, mountainous course, and we were way in the back, like on the 11th hole or something, way in the back, and it was completely surrounded by trees. And I look up, and I never forget, it was my boss at the restaurant I worked at. And I looked up and I said, "What is that noise?" And we looked up, and there's this swarm of bees that was humongous. And it was just circling about 100 meters from us. And I was like, what the hell do we do now? It's like we had a cart.
Jump in the pond.
We had a cart. I was like, I really don't care about my ball. I'm getting out of here. And we just got in the cart and just beat it out of there because, we didn't know where they were going. And I don't know, whether they were dangerous or not. But have you ever had a swarm of bees like that?
I just told you my bee story last week. So no,
yes,
but I do think that again, how fast I'm running directly corresponds to what's chasing me. So I think I could do it. I outran a snake one time, so I've got that.
Kangaroo. No, can't beat it. Cheetah. Who thinks they could beat a cheetah? Ostrich. I think the ostrich. You've seen those things run? I think they got me. Fox. No, we're not going to beat a fox. A deer. No. Zebra going to outrun me, and a horse definitely. I basically only have the house cat.
Do you know what I think you could outrun, my friend?
What?
I had some guinea pigs. I think you got the guinea pigs.
They're not very focused either. They're kind of in the cat category. They have ADD too.
So you can go to bed tonight knowing that I do think you could outrun some wild animal, okay? And it would
Yes, I
be
feel better about myself.
one of my guinea pigs.
You know who I could outrun? Those tortoises, the gopher turtles we have on our property. I could outrun a gopher turtle.
Congratulations.
I'm so proud of myself.
You should celebrate that.
Let's see. Is there any question first world problems?
We may have a few.
Okay.
It's time.
Are any of them not weather related?
I picked and choose.
Okay. This ought to be good.
There were a lot of real problems over the weekend. So.
I mean, and that's kind of one of the things that when I post this on the Horses in the Morning Auditor Facebook page, that is something that people do depending on the weather. But we pick through those because everybody has those problems. I kind of put those as, quote, real problems. But if you want to participate in this and submit your equestrian first world problems, become an auditor. And Glenn, tell them how they can do that.
Just go to horseradionetwork.com, scroll down the middle of the page, and click on the auditor banner.
That's it?
Yes.
Usually you say for as little as $3 a month, you can support them.
That too.
Can't just go changing things up willy-nilly. Okay. So we're going to start with Alicia. And I don't know what to say to this one, so I'll just read it. My equestrian first world problem is I really want to buy a cute halflinger that is a steal of a deal near me, but my pastures are so green and good looking that he's going to get too fat, and I would feel guilty using a grazing muzzle, so you should feel bad for me.
Do you think she's going to get it or not?
When I moved here, we had a POA pony that I had to sell because I was like, he's going to die. Like, he will die here. And not to offend all the halflinger owners, but remember, when people send me horses to train, they're usually like the worst. And I will tell you that my experience with halflingers being a draft and a pony combined, good luck. Okay. Gemmo says, I know we tried it. And you know what? This is a weather one, but I'll allow. Okay. Because she says, I know we tried to keep weather out of our first world problems, but it warmed up enough to have the bugs come out. And we still have snow on the ground. There should be some rule that bugs and snow cannot be an annoyance at the same time. Girl, I am with you. I am with you. We're working the horses in the afternoons when we could. And I was like, oh my God, thank God the horse flies haven't come. And I'm hoping that maybe because we're getting flies, but not the horse flies. And the horse flies is what ruins your day. So yeah, at this point,
well,
the flies
you're
hopefully
probably
died.
about a month away because we just started getting them. So you're about a month away.
But there should be a rule that we write in the cosmos of there's no snow and bugs at the same time.
Yeah, only one natural disaster at a time, please.
Yeah, seriously. Adrian says, there's a tree on my fence and it's too wet for my dad to get out with the truck and the chainsaw. Let's see if we can layer the problems in this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already heard 3.
There's a tree on the fence and it's too wet, which means you got a lot of rain, and your dad chainsaws things for you. Okay. Pause there. So I have to actually lead my horses to the big grass pasture instead of just opening the gates and letting them out.
I was wondering why you allowed that weather one. Now I see why.
It's because she's my kind of people. Like, I get it. However, tree down on the fence, can't get your dad. I think this is someone whose dad cut loads of hay. So she's winning in life. Carrie says, I am going to miss almost a week of riding because I'm going to be on vacation.
We get this one a lot.
Yeah.
And you wonder why horse girls ever go on vacation because they seem to whine about it a lot.
No, it's true. It's true. Kayla says, my cousin that got me into horses when I was a kid, just got her first finally in like 20 years. So we finally get to be grown-ups and have fun with our ponies together. But neither one of us has a horse trailer. Tune in to last Friday's Really Bad Ads episode, or next Friday's, or any Friday.
Yes,
we'll find
you one for $300 or less.
Yeah. April, we've been chronicling her tale of woe, and it continues because she says, oops, the 7 sheep I bought turned into 10. And my husband doesn't seem to understand that horse, sheep, or chicken math. and had the audacity to ask me why I was loading more than the 7 sheep that I had bought. And just remind him I don't count his tractor and cattle stuff that also seemed to multiply. Yeah. Chicken math, sheep math, horse math.
There are people you wonder how they're still married when we do this.
Because they're the same in just different avenues. Katie says,
you were appreciating your husband's boat last week, weren't you? You almost needed it.
Yeah, I could have used it in the pasture. It's fine. Katie says, my first world equestrian problem is that now I have 3 bareback pads and I just got the most beautiful new one. But I don't want to use it because I'll get it all hairy.
They seem to get dirtier than regular pads too, for some reason. I don't know why, but they do.
It's like having a polar fleece jacket on.
Yes.
You're toast.
It's true.
Amanda says, my barn owner is going away and my husband and I are watching the farm for them, but I have to work 2 out of the 4 days and it's supposed to rain the other 2 and I can't ride whenever I want. Elizabeth says that no, this is the last one. I'm finished on this one because we have to talk. Elizabeth says, I am so excited that it's 2.5 weeks until Kentucky. And I want to make a shopping list, but honestly, I don't need anything.
Jamie doesn't either. That never stops her.
So I need one item. I need a new helmet, but I will tell you that,
good place
the fun thing. Yeah, I know, right? I got to try them on. And here you just have to buy them online and they don't fit. And I got one that doesn't fit and I can't return it. And so anyway, it's 2.5 weeks away. The good news about not having a shopping list is that you just walk around flush with cash and you just buy whatever you see impulse. Like, you don't have to be like, I can't buy that because I need some boots. No, you just get to go.
Because you're going to see new stuff you've never seen before. You didn't even know you needed.
I know. And you're like, wow, I don't need any equestrian jewelry. Oh my God, let me buy that ring. It's just whatever.
See, whatever. I get an early version of that this week. Equine Affair. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. I couldn't do both. I'd be broke.
No, in 1 month? No, you couldn't do both in 1 month. I don't think anybody should be allowed to do both. There are a lot of people go to Equine Affair and then go to Kentucky. So there's a lot of those. Jennifer hasn't sent her wish list along yet. I haven't gotten her list yet. Because there might actually be gated stuff at that Equine Affair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the Ohio one, probably.
Oh.
Yeah. So, in any case, we are doing a meetup Friday night. If you're going to Equine Affair, we're doing a meetup. This is arranged by one of the listeners every year, thankfully. And Friday night, I think it's 7 o'clock at the Cheesecake Factory. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the show notes right there on your phone. You can click it and all the details will be there. It's a Facebook page we made up for the event. I think we got 8 or 9 or 10 coming or something like that. So Sweet. Ashley will be there. So if most of you have not met Ashley yet. So if you want to meet Ashley, she'll be along as well. So, and then you're doing one. Have you decided yet?
I think I'm going to do the same thing I did last time because it was such a nice outside area, but there's a Ramsey's on the north side of town, which is the closest one to the horse park. And I think I'm going to book that room. I will get you guys all the details next week, but we had 25 people last time and we had plenty of space for more. So if anybody is going to Kentucky, let's meet up. He might get Ashley, but I have Anna and Larissa. You'll get to meet them both.
There you go. So if you want to start a page for that, you don't know how, do you?
What? No, you do that. I'll just tell you guys, it's going to be like Ramsey's on Friday night.
Jamie needs a volunteer coordinator like I have for Equine Affair. So if you'd like to volunteer to help coordinate this,
I don't need help. I'm just going to tell everybody what time and I'm going to make a thing at the restaurant, make an RSVP. I don't need a Facebook page. There doesn't have to be a Facebook page for everything.
That means she doesn't know how, and that's why she's not doing it.
I know how to start Facebook. I just don't think people need it. Listen. Just, that's actually probably a pretty good idea.
Then you don't have to answer all the questions. But seriously, there's somebody out there that's going to volunteer to help you do this. And believe me, this same person in Ohio has volunteered for this for the last 3 years, and I don't have to worry about it. So I love it. It's great.
Cool.
It's a good
plan.
For you. Get help. Ask for help, Jamie. Ask for help. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to hang around for the auditors for a couple minutes after the show here. So hang out with us for a couple of minutes. And everybody else, Lisa will be here on Wednesday, and then we'll be doing 3 episodes from Equine Affair, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So 3 special episodes of Horses in the Morning. You get the weekends. We have a ton of good guests lined up. We always have fun there. Ashley will be along. She'll be joining in with some interviews. So it's her first time at Equine Affair, too. So that'll be fun as well. That's it. See you, everybody.
Spay neuter geld. Bye.